Hello, welcome back, Espresso workouters. For this workout you will need a mat because we will do some down dogs, and that's what we're just gonna be starting with right now. Right here is a nice down dog position to be opening your chest. This is a really good workout, this whole one now, for counter movement if you've been sitting a lot, like opening the chest, opening the hips. Really good for the hip flexors, for the shoulders. We're doing a lot of mobility here and counter movement. So welcome. Here we go with some walkout to plank, and you decide if you wanted to take it a bit more sporty, staying a bit more on the plank and working on your shoulder strength, or if you want to do it a little bit more stretchy, wiggling from one side to the other, trying to figure out how well your hamstrings are taking stretching today, or even your calves. So if you do want to do the more stretchy bit, then try to get your knees as straight as possible when you crawl forward and when you crawl backward. So you're getting into that nice stretchy bit when your hands get a bit closer to your feet, and also stretchy bit in your calves and your ankles. And if you do want to take it a bit more sporty, then simply stay in the plank a bit more, bringing your shoulders away from your ears. And then just walk backwards with your hands to your feet hip width apart. You can relax your knees a bit. Now we want to relax the whole back line of your body from the heel to your crown of your head or even your eyebrows. So relax your eyebrows. Let your head hang down low so that your back can really relax forward. If you want to, you can move your head a bit, move your shoulders a bit, and relax your shoulder girdle. Really nice. So here's the sporty bit, so we get warmed up a bit. And this is a plank for 45 seconds. And again, up to you. You can do this on your feet or on your knees, so half plank on the knees. And if you're having trouble with your wrists, you can also take it down into Sphinx pose, being your elbows on the ground and your forearms are parallel, pointing forwards like a sphinx. I think we can imagine. While you do that, always pull your shoulders away from your ears so that your head is really nice and long, your trapezius, your stress muscle is relaxed, and you don't like shrug your shoulders forward, rounding your back. Keep your back straight. Your hips are up in line with your shoulders, more or less, and pulling your navel in. Very good. And you can release again in that nice hamstring stretch. Second time around, crawl backward with your hands towards your feet. Knees can stay slightly bent, feet are parallel and hip width apart. And up to you. I sometimes like to wiggle and shift my weight more to the right, having a nice little bend and twist in the spine, and then shifting the whole weight onto the left, touching my left foot with both hands, and then just going back onto the other side and touching my right foot with my both hands. Oh my God. And here we come, up, rolling up, and then bringing your hands behind your sacrum, lifting both arms, elbows are slightly bent. This is a chest opener, so you do want to lift your sternum as much as possible. Lift the sternum up and bring those shoulder blades down as low as you can, so your neck is really long and straight. Really good. Enjoy this stretch. Perfect. So here we go. I told you this is Pilates and stretch. Here comes the Pilates bit. So we're coming back into the plank position. You can do these again in Sphinx pose or on your hands. And now lift one leg at a time. So this is three-legged stance. It's not so much about the leg lifting as high as possible. It's more about the control that you can have your back stable in that same position, not shifting too much left and right, and the fact that you lift one leg from the floor and just having three stances, two arms and one foot on the ground, is really, really good for your inner abdominals, your pelvic floor, your transverse, even your deep spinal muscles are really working right now. So this is great spine workout for your back strength. All right, here we go with some hip opening. Step forward with your left leg. So we're opening the right hip, that's what I mean. So right leg is back, left leg is forward. And now try to release your pelvis down. This is a great hip opener if you've been sitting a lot for today. And I like to do this kind of stretchy workout at the end of a busy day. Now change leg. So your left leg is behind and your right leg is forward. We're going to do some more hip openers later, but for now just sink into your hip. So it's just enough workout to get your blood pumping and get moving and get mobilized, but also a lot of stretches so you can really release and don't feel too tight from the day. And oops, how did that happen? Oh my God, some push-ups. You decide. You can go on your knees. There's days I stay on my knees. There's days I want to do on my feet and can't get enough. So you decide you have 45 seconds to play around with the wide push-ups. So the elbows are pointing out. Your chest is wide. Your shoulders are not contracting towards your throat, but you stay open in your shoulder girdle. So when you go down, it's like you're opening and creating more space in your chest, going as low as possible as to almost touch the floor with your chest, with your sternum. And if you need to go down onto the knees after a few bits, then just go down onto the knees. And if you need to rest, then just rest. There's all can, no must, but try to have a steady workout rhythm. Perfect. And here we go, stepping forward with the right leg again, releasing the left hip, and now we're adding a nice rotation, having the left arm on the ground and the right arm pointing towards the ceiling, sky, or whatever's on top of you. And if you want, you can even turn your head and look into your right hand or right palm. Keep the twist open. If you want to move a bit, wiggle, but stay in the rotation. Very nice. And step backwards and step forwards with your left leg. So we're releasing the right hip flexor this time and adding that nice little rotation. So the right arm stays on the ground and the left arm is rising to the top, and you're gazing through your fingers to the sky, imagining some nice stars you're gazing at through your fingers. Wiggle and move a little bit if you want to, just to get loose. So now we're coming back into a down dog. Step backwards with your left foot and then release your chest down onto the floor. Keep your hands firmly on the ground. You do want to press the mount of the base of your index fingers, left and right, into the floor to create strength in your shoulder girdle and not just hang in the joints. Nice opening and stretch for the calves. And this is one of my favorite stretches. It's just the right amount of active to be really relaxing. So we're going into a squat and hamstring stretch. And this is very experimental. So you can go down and squat as low as you want, trying to always keep your heels on the ground. So this plays a little bit on the mobility of your ankles. You might want to get your feet slightly rotated outwards when you squat and get them back parallel when you fold forward. And now when you're folding forward, there's days I keep my legs bent and there's days I just keep them straight, pressing the heels into the ground, really folding forward, relaxing the head, relaxing my eyebrows. Try to relax the hair on your skull as if you want to get loose, want to get rid of your hair. That's a nice feeling, isn't it? To get rid of your hair. Just let your hair hang. Imagine you had like a toupee. All right. Then there, I think the fun is over. Here we go. We're going into a reverse plank. And this is, again, a very stable position in a 3 stance position. You can start sitting, then push your palms into the ground. Again, making sure that your mount of the index finger is pressing in the ground, then push your hips up. Try to stay as stable as possible and then lift one leg at a time. Again, it's not that important that you lift really, really high. It's more important that your hips stay stable. You might feel that they want to sag onto one side, especially when you lift one leg. So try to prevent that. Stay in shape. Stay parallel to the ground with your hips, and especially don't sag in the hips. So don't get too relaxed here. Very good. Lift your chest, open your shoulders, and here we go. Aren't I nice? We're going to lie on our backs, doing some dead bugs for the belly. So you do want to starting position is hands over shoulders and knees over hips. You can keep your knees bent, and then diagonally, then just lift one arm back and stretch one leg out diagonally. And you do want to make sure that your belly stays in without pressing your lower back into the floor. You do want to have some space between the lower back and the floor. You do want to have that nice natural curvature of your lower back. No straight back, it's not helping. So nice natural curvature of your lower back, pulling the navel in, putting some pressure from the top onto your spine to keep it stable. And remember to breathe. Oh, and here's a nice one. Mobilizing our hip socket. This is gorgeous. Right leg up, and then we start turning the leg inward and outwards in a very light manner. Imagine that someone is pulling your foot to the sky. So this is creating grease and oiling your hip socket so we can have healthy hips until we are 121 years old. And you do really want to do this without cramping. You want to make this a very soft movement, exploring the mobility of your hip socket, keeping your hips stable, and just making this leg work and move while creating space in your hip socket. This is yummy. All right, let's do the other side. Left leg comes up. You start a 90-degree angle, and we are turning inwards. So imagine this hip socket with this cartilage and all these fluids in our joints, and we want to create some more of these fluids and creating more space in our hip socket. So imagine that this screw is going further away from you. So you're pulling the leg, you're screwing your leg out of your hip socket. I hope you know what I mean. In order to create more room and more space in your hip socket. And this will be totally yummy when you go back up. This will feel like walking on soft gaze, something very soft. All right, let's do one more turn, creating a lot of space. And here we go, strengthening our hip. You're starting on your left hand side, so lie on your left, then bend your knees 90 degrees, keep your big toes together and open your right leg like a book. You don't want to go back with your hips, so your hips stay stacked on top of each other. Your navel is always pointing forward and the rest of the body is not doing anything. It's just the leg opening. And this creates a lot of strength in your leg to allow you to stay stable when you're standing on one leg. And believe it or not, we are standing a lot on one leg. The moment you start walking, you're shifting the leg you're shifting your weight onto one leg. And we need to have strength for that. So imagine running. This is merely like you're jumping from one leg to the other. All right, let's change leg. And you're now lying on your right side with your head on your arm. Bring your toes together and open your left leg like a book. Nothing else is moving, and you can really keep those toes together if possible, and just opening the knee up. If you want a little bit more of a workout, you can keep the knee up like for 1 or 2 seconds before your back closing, and this will strengthen your hip, especially when standing, running, walking, having to keep balance on one leg. So this will prevent your hip from pointing out, from sagging into your hips. and losing your balance at the end of the day. All right, last one, and this is either you can make this a belly workout by pushing the legs as far as possible to the ceiling, really going into that long line and then releasing down very slowly. Or if you feel more like stretching, you can try to get into plow pose and then lowering down really softly by bringing those legs not towards the ceiling, but up and over your head, as if you want to bring your legs down behind your ears, behind your head. So you decide. You can also do a couple of times pointing the legs toward the sky and lowering down, exhaling really slow, and then come into plow pose, or you just keep working your abdominals. Bring the abdominals in, rolling down, one vertebra at a time. And remember to breathe. Wow, and then just lie down. We're gonna have a little rest here. Don't tell anyone. A little relaxation at the end of our little Pilates stretch and workout, so that we can integrate what we've been doing for the day or just for this workout. So you can either lie on your back with your knees bent, or you can also rest the legs on the floor. If you want to let those legs pivot outwards, just following gravity, and your arms alongside your body with your palms facing up. Now simply listen to your breath and try to slow down your breathing. Inhaling through the nose, filling your lungs, and then exhaling through your mouth. Really breathing out softly. And now try to slow down this breath and really listen to your inner sounds as this breath fills you up with air. And then let go of everything that you want to let go of. So with every inhale, imagine new, fresh energy coming into your body, with the floor holding you, you're resting on the floor, and with every exhale, you're letting go of something that you don't need to hold on anymore. And at the same moment, you are sinking into the floor a little more, you're letting go a little more deeper. Inhale, fresh and new energy coming into your body. Invite something new coming, and exhaling, let go of something that you don't need anymore. Can be a thought, can be a problem, can be something you've been worrying about a bit too much, so just let go of it. And again, inhale, fresh and new energy coming, and exhale and let go. This video is now gonna end. However, if you want to stay on the floor breathing a little longer, you can. And if you have come to the end of the video, then I will hope to see you soon, next time, or with another video. And if you haven't subscribed, then please do so and tap the bell, so I'll see you more often.